There are many successful restoration companies in today's competitive marketplace. How they operate, what they do to succeed, and the strategies they use are all worth analyzing and imitating. One such example of a restoration company like that is joining us today, and I'm pleased to welcome Alexus Neidert, the head of brand and culture at Thomasville Restoration. Alexis, welcome to the program.
Thank you so much for having me.
I look forward to getting to know you a little bit, our audience as well as we talk about your company. So, are you willing to share some secrets and ideas and strategies?
Yeah, absolutely. The biggest thing for my heart is to share and help companies create a place where everybody loves to work. And so my heart is to have a company where everybody is happy and everybody is enjoying coming to work every single day and being excited to get up and work every day.
I like that. So, let's get started with an easy question. Just tell us a little bit about your company, its history, how it got started, and where it is now.
My name is Alexus, and I work for Thomasville Restoration. We are a full service restoration company that services the Mid Atlantic region. That includes DC, Maryland, Virginia, Delaware, Pennsylvania. We are located in Baltimore. Currently, we've been in restoration for about 7 or 8 years now, but we've been a new home builder actually prior to that for about 20 years before. We transitioned into the restoration industry right around the crash, and when the market crashed. And we realized that restoration was an industry where we could help people be a part of some of the worst moments in their lives, whereas new home builders selling brand new homes is some of the best moments of their lives. So we really liked the opportunity to help. It was our founder's heart. And I'm actually the daughter of the founder. So if you would have told me 20 years ago I'd be working for my dad, I would have told you were lying. But it just was by, I don't know, serendipity that we ended up working together. And it's now it's great. And I am extremely passionate about what I get to do, which is help create a place that everybody wants to work for and creating a culture where people feel loved, heard, valued, and cared for. That's what my department focuses on.
Very good. I wondered how you got here. Now I understand the backstory. Why the name Thomasville?
Funny story. So my dad's name's Thomas, and right around the time when Thomasville, the name came about, was when Nelly released the Nellyville album. And so it was a play on words, and Nelly was always one of his favorite artists. So our anniversary that we actually celebrate, which isn't our real anniversary, is the album release date for Nellyville. So it's kind of like this inside joke with everyone that we're hoping Nelly will show up at one of our amazing Christmas parties. But yeah, that's how the name came about. Kind of fun.
Okay, I like that. Now, along with the name, your title. Let me see here. It's head of brand and culture. It's not VP of marketing or a typical title. Head of
Right.
brand and culture. Talk about that. What does that mean to your company?
Yeah, absolutely. So all of our leadership team, minus our CFO and our general manager, all have head of titles because we want to create this culture of leadership. And for leadership, you are in the front and you are willing to work as hard as the rest of your team. So we didn't want to create this dichotomy of chief as opposed to head. So you are the person who is leading your department. So the terminology that we use, even something as polite as that, is intentional to create a team style environment. So head of brand and culture kind of came about because we had teetered back and forth with this name of brand ambassador. But I felt as though my role encompassed so much more than just the brand because the brand was driving our culture and the culture was driving our brand. So I have this unique opportunity to be able to focus on both of those things. So head of brand and culture kind of was born from out of that.
Makes total sense. I think that's refreshing. Let's move now into what are the goals and values of your company, besides what you've already shared, that you would like to spotlight that make it a Thomasville Restoration a success?
Absolutely. So our company values are family first, compassion, and communication in that order. And they're intentionally in that order because our number one focus is creating a place where your family is put first, our family is put first, and our customers' families are put first. So our most important thing that we are constantly focused on providing is what we call the Thomasville touch. The Thomasville touch is this white glove service of an incredible experience from all the way from the first notice of loss, from the board up until the handing your keys back from the reconstruction aspect. So it's about providing the Thomasville touch in every step of the way. And that is embodying our company values and embodying our mission, which is helping families put their homes and lives back together. So our Thomasville touch is a verb. It's an action that we take to each other, for each other, and for our customers. So that's one of the things that our team wears as a badge of honor. I got to provide the Thomasville touch. And it's funny to see how when you have this vernacular that you're using all the time in your organization, how it starts to mold into your customers using it. So some of our Google reviews mention the Thomasville touch in our testimonial videos because it's the experience you get when you work with us all the way through from start to finish.
I know it's in your heart because you just did that without a script. So,
It is very much so.
yeah, very nice. Let's talk about challenges in business because as you look at the years you've been operating as a company, you've been there a short time. I know you're a young lady, but challenges that the company has overcome and successfully so. What are some of those and what did you do?
One of the most difficult challenges as an organization that we overcame was we had a transition period where members of our organization about 5 years ago decided to go and leave and start a competing restoration organization. And at that time, my dad had separated from his previous partner and was operating the organization on his own. And that was right around the time that he came in. He said, I need somebody who can help. I need somebody I can trust, and I can pay you $15 an hour. And I said, okay. I had my mortgage, and I was responsible, doing responsible adult things, and I said, okay, because I trusted that what he was trying to accomplish here was going to be bigger and better than what he had done previously. So right around that time, there was about a 6 month period where it was just him and we were just doing the best that we could. And he asked one of his lifelong best friends, his name is Andy, who is our CEO, come in and be his partner. Andy previously was the CFO for North America for Under Armour's footwear division, and he had been in Under Armour since it was a $400 million company, and then grew to be the monster that it was, today, and that it was a couple of years ago. So that transition period was really difficult because when he came in, he had this wealth of knowledge and this overwhelming amount of brilliant leadership skills. And it was this matter of implementing slowly enough that it wasn't going to cause a wild disruption to the organization, but intentionally he was going to make us great. And we were going to build something great here. We were going to scale Restoration Mountain, and we were going to work as hard as we possibly could to focus on doing the right thing always. Focus on always doing the right thing. And so that transition period was a little bit difficult. But one of the things that we never let up on was no matter what, we are not going to quit. And there were times when we were ready to quit. We were not sure what we were going to do. It was hard. We had about 30 employees at that time when Andy walked in the door, and we're right around 130 now. And that was about 4 or 5 years ago. So we have grown exponentially from that point, but that's because of his brilliant leadership and my dad's brilliant mind, and them combining and coming together to create this beautiful organization. But it was just about hardcore grit, just being willing to do whatever it took. Everyone sweeps the floors. Everybody does whatever it takes. I was a coordinator. I was doing collections. I was doing finance, and I can't math at all. I'm terrible at math. So they trusted me enough to do that, and we just did whatever it took. And it's been amazing to look back, and we never ever forget what it felt like to be where we were. We never take for granted the growth that we've had, the opportunities that we've had, and we always say yes to any opportunity. We really hard because in our organization and within this industry, there's this conversation about like, is this fair? Is this not fair? When it comes to working doing insurance work, it's tough. And we are just constantly staying focused on gratitude and being grateful for every opportunity that we have. And it's allowed us to grow and become the organization that we are today.
So that's interesting what you shared. Now, can you talk about some of the strategies besides that you went from 30 to 130 employees?
Yes.
So you mentioned your leadership. Anything else you would add to that?
So above and beyond, there's this amazing leadership that we had. One of the things that we really focused on was creating a place that everybody wanted to work for. And that is kind of a buzzword thing that we use around here, but it's so much bigger than just that aspect. it's about loving and caring for our team as much as possible, having a fun place for people to show up to, having clear, concise directions for people to scale. So for promotion within is something that we really value, something that we really are intentional about. Having a clear understanding of how you're doing as far as performance goes, making sure that you're always felt valued, that you know that you are here and we value you for your presence. We never feel entitled to any of our teammates. We feel grateful that they choose to be a part of our team and make us great. So, some of the things that we instilled as like practical application would be annual reviews, biannual reviews, company picnics, company Christmas parties. We have a quarterly offsite that happens every 3 months, obviously quarterly, right? And that during that time, we're actually extremely transparent about how we're doing financially, where our numbers are, where our metrics are, how our goals are hitting, how we're aligning for our projection for the year. And then we celebrate with awards, with some sort of team building event or personal development. We focus a lot on developing our teammates personally as well. And we have that opportunity to all get together because we service such a large region. We are intentional about bringing the family together as often as we can. And it is allowed for ownership. Our team owns those numbers that we present. They own the part of their metrics that are connected to their department. And there's excitement that comes around it. Everybody loves finding out that we beat our goal for the last quarter and we're on track to beat our goal for the year. And there's full transparency. And I think that has been something that's really helped because our team can see them in those goals. They can see what they've done to accomplish those things. And I've heard a lot of really great feedback from that.
Good place to work, I can tell. And you didn't get into marketing and networking with insurance adjusters and all the typical things that a company does. You're focusing on the people inside.
Yeah. Yeah. And those things happen.
Sure.
One of the things that we have spent a lot of time focusing on the past couple of years as far as utilizing our social media is providing a window into what our company culture looks like. We get people bought in before they're in the door because it's so hard. You can try to fake culture, but it's inauthentic and people sniff it out. We have these generations of young adults coming through who are seeking and thirsting for authenticity. So when we are utilizing a platform like our social media, our Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, to provide a window into our authentic culture, people just gravitate to it. They want authenticity. They don't want to see the perfect polished pictures. They want to see the selfies that the team took in the parking lot of a job that they just finished to celebrate a job well done. So a lot of the focus of our social media has been driving a window into what our culture looks like. So it's been a free resource that we've used, and it's been a free resource that we've used, and our team has actually been the drivers of that content. I don't go out and get these inauthentic pictures. My team sends them in to me, and they want to be recognized. They want to be celebrated too because they love the brand, they love what we've created here, and they love the opportunity to say, I was a part of something special. So yeah, we do the marketing and that kind of stuff too. We also recently started our business development department. So we hadn't done any property manager or facilities maintenance manager marketing prior to the last 2 years. But within the last 2 years, because of the groundwork that we've laid for our brand, once we did turn that switch on, the flywheel just started turning. And we are already 2 years into this and fortunate enough to be getting a ton of work from the commercial side and not as much from the insurance side. And it's been great. I mean, it's been great to see how the brand impacts people because they've seen the brand, have been exposed to the brand. They know at Thomasville because they see our 80 truck fleet on the road, and then our beautiful wraps with bright branding. And they're like, oh, I know those guys. They advertise with the Ravens and with the Orioles, and I've seen their trucks on 95.
In closing, if you were to give a speech or share some thoughts with the industry on what they can do to succeed, you might repeat some of the things you just said because they're working, but what would you say to that?
So when I officially stepped into this role, I had no idea what I was doing. I had no marketing degree. I had no branding degree. I didn't even finish college. And when I went to college, it was for criminal justice. So when I got into here, I just had to make the world's hardest sacrifice. And the world's hardest sacrifice is time. You can give money, you can give, all of these different things, But if it matters enough to you, you have to sacrifice time. So what I did is I got in the truck with my guys. I would ride to mid job, from mid job to mid job to mid job, or reconstruction job. I rode with every single department. I just talked to them. I said, what would make you feel valued? And I just closed my mouth and I just listened. And I took mental note and I thought about how I could practically apply those things. We started a Thomasville soccer team from a ride along. And we had 30 people on the soccer team and we had a lot of fun. It didn't last, but it was a great opportunity. And so I had to sacrifice a lot of time when there was things that were adding up that I needed to do right away. Check my email, respond to this message, do this thing, go to this meeting. And I had to clear my entire schedule for the day and spend time. The other thing I did is I relied on the people who were bought in already. So not everybody was bought in already, but I relied on the people who were and asked them for help. Can you please plan a birthday breakfast for us to celebrate, all of these August birthdays? Or can you make sure that we celebrate Boston Day and celebrate all of the leaders here? Can you help me with this? And I did a lot of relying on my other teammates who were bought in because they loved the company as we were. And they were bought in as we were. So it was so easy for them to say yes. They were excited about the opportunity to do something that would make a difference in our organization. So, those are typically my tips. It's time. It's find your cheerleader, find the person who is in your organization who is already cheering you guys on and listening to them. And then gamification. I mean, one of the things you can do for very, very little is start creating games and competition. Give some ownership, whether you're willing to share all your numbers or not, find something to create some level of competition within your team. Then they get bought in and they get excited. Okay, so the final thing I would say is the value of your social media is an incredible tool. Use it. Your social media can help with recruiting. It can help with getting potential new customers. Use it as often as you can. It doesn't have to be perfect. You don't need to run ads to get all of these followers. Just use it and use it consistently as often as you can, at least once a day, maybe once every other day. Use it because your future customers and your future clients and your future teammates are on social media. They are going to be looking at you. It legitimizes you, it legitimizes your brand, and it shows them what life is like at your organization. So I highly encourage you to use your social media. And that is your bonus tip.